this upcoming weekend, we have an even bigger event, possibly, depending on who you talk to, UFC 265, where we have the controversial interim heavyweight title fight between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. The co-main event was the female GOAT and Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena, but now it's Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munhoz. And then we have another important fight for welterweight with Vicente Luque and Michael Chiesa. Do you guys have any quick predictions on the three fights mentioned?
Yeah, I think these three fights are going to be kind of interesting, and to me, they're all kind of a little hard to call. I think that Cyril Gane has more of a chance of beating Derek Lewis just because we all know, what Derek Lewis is going to do. He's going to go for the knockout, obviously. I think Cyril Gane, he's more technical on the feet and, not like Curtis Blades where he'll, be striking just to get the takedown. Like he's going to be striking to not get hit by Derek Lewis and get in and get out. And I think that he can be good enough to do that. Now, if he gets popped, then, that's that for him. I feel Derek Lewis, it might take one or two strong hits to really get him away just because that's who Derek Lewis is. Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiesa. I can say that I want Vicente Luque to win. I think Michael Chiesa is actually a little bit better at 170 than people give him a little credit for. So I think the fight's going to be interesting. I think that's a fight that Michael Chiesa can actually win, but I think I'm going to choose Vicente Luque just because I think he's a little bit more dangerous. Now, as far as Jose Aldo and Pedro Munhoz, I think I want to go with Pedro Munhoz only because it's tough because I feel like in the last few fights that Jose Aldo has lost, he didn't necessarily look bad, but he got beat badly, right? The thing is that in a 3-round fight against Pedro Munhoz, I think he can do enough to win. If it was like a 5-round something or other, I think Pedro Munhoz just outlasts him long enough to catch him. But with that being said, though, I think Jose Aldo's the more technical striker, can get in and get out, and then I think he will win the fight against Pedro.
Okay. Spence, any take?
For the most part, I mean, the main fight that I'm really looking towards is the Derek Lewis fight. I do have Lewis winning that fight just primarily because I don't think he wants to at any point make a sacrifice of his opportunity for that belt against Francis Ngannou, and hopefully it's sometime this year. So I'm leaning towards Lewis. I probably go with Luque as well as Aldo in those two fights. I don't really have too much to say about those, but my primary, like I said, my primary focus is just on the Lewis versus Gaines. But I got Derek Lewis winning that, as long as he doesn't have any back problems.
So I think, just real quick for me, I'm rooting for Derek Lewis, but I think Cyril Gane gets it easily. He's just a better striker between the two. Root for Vicente Luque, but I think this is a pick-em fight against Michael Chiesa. It all depends if Michael Chiesa could get him on the ground and actually do some work. And with Jose Aldo and Pedro Munhoz, I also think this is another pick-em fight. I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see Jose Aldo win. I think because if Jose Aldo wins, you can now match him up with a Dominic Cruz, or you can match him up with, a Cody Garbrandt or a Corey Sandhagen. You can match him up with some big fights. And the thing is, I don't mind seeing Jose Aldo in big fights. The guy can fight. Yeah, he's older, even though he's still in his early 30s. He's older and he's not as dynamic as he was in the WEC days in his early featherweight title reign, but he's still a fun fighter to watch. He's still one of the better fighters in that bantamweight division. Pedro Munhoz, he could fight too, but I just think he's inconsistent. So if he does win this fight, that's cool, and he'll get matched up with a bigger opponent. But I just don't see him winning his way to the title. I just don't see it. Shouts out to Pedro Munhoz, good fighter, but that's just my take. But Another fight that I would like to say is Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. If that fight was going to happen originally scheduled, I think Amanda was going to slaughter her in the first round. It's only postponing Juliana Pena's execution. So
Jesus.
Now that Amanda, she lost to COVID, like many other people, unfortunately. I think they'll probably save that fight for a bigger card. In my opinion, I wish they would save it for that Madison Square Garden card with Usman and Covington fighting again.
Oh man, that would be such a big card if they did that. That card's already going to be like a nice card. It's building up.
Yeah, so that's. I hope Amanda Nunes feels better. I hope she gets better, gets well, because COVID is not a joke. That's it, really.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, hopefully, especially with COVID, especially now with like the uprising, like with the uptick in COVID cases. So it's unfortunate that like she was one of the people that have to suffer behind this, but hopefully she heals back and gets right back to where she was. But at the end of the day, like we all know, it would have been taking the sheep to the slaughter when she would get in the ring with Junior Pena. Amanda Nunes is the top dog for a reason. She's considered the boogie woman for a reason. And trust me, I'm quite sure COVID is wants to tap out.
Just fighting Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
Well, my bad, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, even in the body, it's like, it's struggling. It's struggling to survive.
I personally would have wanted to see that fight. I think it goes like maybe 2 rounds. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think Juliana Pena necessarily wins that fight, but I think she goes in there and at the least doesn't get finished. I mean, you got to think like Amanda Nunes, like she can't go in there and finish everybody in the first round. You know what I mean? That's why she was smiling at the last chick she fought. So I mean, like.
But is it like a Khabib thing where Khabib said, I could have finished you in the first round, but I need to get some extra rounds in?
I think Amanda Nunes can finish the fight when she wants.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think if it goes to the second, it's because she wants it to go to the second.
Yeah, Juliana Pena, she's just shouts out to her. She's been around for a bit, but it's just not. I think Amanda took the fight so easily because she was like, hey, I could get another 6 to 7 figure payday off of you. That, hey, my newborn daughter,
she needs to meet new fighters. I got to bring her back in the octagon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I was going to say something. I was probably going to say something a little more disrespectful, but that's fine. And not disrespectful towards ladies, like, because these two ladies, they're phenomenal fighters. With Amanda Nunes being levels above, in my opinion, and I think my co-hosts can agree, or colleagues, to be more respectful, they can agree. So, I don't know, man. I just don't think there needs to be a deep dive about that shit. But do you guys think that?
Yeah, that's the baby from the 4400, man.
I mean,
I've never seen that show. The 4400 is the shit, though. Go ahead, Lyle.
Yeah. So, just like moving on and stuff like that.